Does your favorite NHL team have what it takes to win the Stanley Cup next year? Does your team even have a chance to win the Stanley Cup next year? Let's find out. All right, guys, this is going to be the first part of two of what teams actually have a chance to win the Stanley Cup next season. This first video here, we're going to start off with the Western Conference. Let's see how many teams actually have a legitimate chance to win Lord Stanley. So let's try to get through this as fast as possible. I'm not trying to keep you here too long. Make sure to leave likes and subscribe, guys. It really does help out a lot. Let's do this, baby. Let's do this, baby. All right, guys, the Chicago Blackhawks, do they have a legitimate shot to win the Stanley Cup? I'm going to say it's the obvious answer here. No chance at all. I know Connor Bedard is very, very good at hockey, but he is not going to make this team a Stanley Cup contender right now. Give him a couple years. Arizona Coyotes, do they have a chance to win the Stanley Cup? Obvious answer as well. No, they do not. But this team has improved pretty damn heavily in the offseason. I like what Arizona's doing, but still, I think they could be maybe a playoff contender, but not a Stanley Cup contender at all. St. Louis Blues, I'm going to say no chance as well. They have a couple good players on this team, but I just feel like if you have Jordan Binnington as your starting goaltender, you're not going to do much. And I feel like the depth on this team is not the greatest. Kevin Hayes is a good addition, but I don't think it's going to be enough for the St. Louis Blues. Nashville Predators, this is where it gets kind of interesting here, because they do have a good team, but at the same time, they don't have a good team. So I'm going to go out on a limb here, and say no chance for the Nashville Predators, even though I do kind of like their roster, even though they have no depth on the team. Up next is going to be the Winnipeg Jets, guys. Do they have a chance? Quick answer, no, they do not. I do think this team is very mid. They have a lot of good players and then a lot of bad players as well. Connor Hellebuyck could definitely carry this team. I'd just say no chance they win a Stanley Cup. I just don't think they have the depth on their team. I don't think they have the goal scoring on the team. I don't think Kyle Connor can do it himself. So I'm going to say no chance for the Winnipeg Jets. Up next is going to be the Minnesota Wild, guys. This team's pretty damn good, but I'm going to say no chance to win the Stanley Cup this next season because I just don't like the roster. I'm being honest with you. Kirill Kaprizov can't do it himself. Yes, Matt Boldy is very, very good. Fleury is solid. Gustafsson is solid. But they're losing a lot of players. Dumba just left, so their defense is now what? Jared Spurgeon. Brodin is still there. I don't love this roster. I don't like how it's built. I just don't think there's enough goal scoring on the team. So I'm going to say no chance for the Minnesota Wild. Up next is the Dallas Stars, guys. And I think this team, it can 100% win the Stanley Cup next year. Do I think they will? No. But they went to the conference finals last year, guys. This team is very, very good. Obviously, Ben and Sagan are probably going to keep going downhill. Same with Ryan Suter. But they still have all these younger guys who are going to keep taking the next step. And this team is just very, very lethal and scary. I would not want to play the Dallas Stars come playoff time. Next and last one of the Central Division is going to be the Colorado Avalanche, guys. Can they win the Stanley Cup? Obviously they can. Is it the highest odds in the Western Conference? I'm going to say no. But this team is still very, very good. Even when you have Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, Rantanen on your team, you guys definitely have a good shot to win Lord Stanley. So I think they definitely can. Is it going to happen? Very unlikely in my opinion, but it is definitely possible since the Central Division is the easiest in hockey. So maybe if they get first in the conference, if they get first in the division, maybe they get a couple free, easy playoff rounds. Who knows? But there's a chance, high chance. I would say not. Let's go to the Pacific Division here, guys. Well, honestly, the division is definitely improving. Does that mean these teams have a good chance to win the Stanley Cup? Let's find out. Let's rule out the first two teams that we know are not going to make it, guys. It's quite obvious. Anaheim Ducks, San Jose Sharks, two of the worst teams in hockey. They're really, really bad. Sharks are probably going to be dead last next year, and the Ducks are going to be right next to them. They're going to be damn close to them, even though the Ducks are getting a little bit better. They got Alex Killorn. Zegras going to take the next step. Terry's going to take the next step. But if I'm being honest, guys, I still don't like this team. It's just, I shouldn't really have to talk too much about these teams. They're just not it, man. They're just not it. Up next is the Vancouver Canucks. Sorry, Canucks fans. You guys do have a good team, but it's just, you guys need to make the playoffs first, then give it a couple years in the playoffs. Then you guys maybe have a chance to win the Stanley Cup. But right now, I'm going to say no chance. Even though I do like this team, man. I really do like this team. I like this roster. But I'm going to still say no chance for the Vancouver Canucks. Up next is the Calgary Flames, guys. And the Flames, they're an interesting team because they do have good players on their roster, but I just feel like the chemistry on the team and the overall morale in the locker room is just not there. Even though I'm not in the locker room, not even close to the locker room, but just for what I saw last year, I just don't think they're all bought in. They have a good player with Kadri, Huberdeau. They still have Lindholm. They still have Hannafin. Who knows what the GM does with those guys? They might be able to trade them. Who knows? But I just don't like their roster. Playoffs are going to be iffy for them. So I'm going to say no chance for the Calgary Flames. Up next, now it gets quite interesting here in the Pacific Division. Does the Seattle Kraken have a chance to win the Stanley Cup? Because they are a good team. They're a very well-built team. And they went to game 7 of the second round last year. And damn, if they won that game, who knows what would have happened in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So it's interesting, man. It really, really is interesting here. The Kraken are good, but I'm going to say, I wouldn't say no chance. I would say there's a little chance because they are well built and they are good coached and they have good depth on their team, even though they did lose a couple players in the offseason. But I'm going to say there's a little baby chance. Baby chance, not a high one, but a little baby chance. Little baby chance. Up next is the Los Angeles Kings, guys. And I know I've been hyping up this team. I really do like this Kings roster with Pierre-Luc Dubois coming in. But I don't think you can win a Stanley Cup with their goaltenders. I know we're all going to be looking at the Vegas Golden Knights winning a Stanley Cup with Adin Hill. But I feel like the Knights defense were way different than the Kings defense. The Knights defense was very, very solid, unreal defense. And I mean, the Kings, I'm not saying they have no chance here. I think they do have a chance because I do think their forward core just got tremendously better and their defense is not bad. But the goalie situation here is not it, man. It is not good at all. So Kings, I'm going to give them a bigger chance than the Kraken, but it's still not a huge chance. Up next is the Edmonton Oilers, guys. We all know how I feel about this team. I'm not a big fan of the Oilers, but we got to give respect when it's due. This team is a very, very good team. Obviously, the depth on this team is always going to be an issue, and the goaltending is always a big question mark on the Oilers. And is it going to be changing next year? Who knows? They're going to have a better... They're a regular season team, guys. They're going to be popping off in the regular season like we all know they do. But can they do this in the playoffs, guys? Can they do this in the playoffs? Can they get past the Vegas Golden Knights? Because they're going to have to play them. Even if it's not the Golden Knights next year, it might have to be the Kings again, and that is not an easy out because this team definitely improved, so it's not an easy out against the Kings. Even the Kraken, there's a lot of tough teams to play here in the Pacific Division, even the Central Division. If they maybe get lined up with the Dallas Stars or something like that, it's going to be very, very tough to get out of the first round and all these rounds now. So Oilers, definitely a good team. I think it's definitely up to the goaltending. If Stuart Skinner can lock in, if Jack Campbell, whoever can take the net and actually keep the net and play solid in the playoffs, the Oilers can definitely do something. Are they favorites in the West? I would say no, but they definitely have a high chance of winning the Stanley Cup. Is it the number one in the league? No. Like I said before, no. But it's definitely a very good chance for the Oilers to win the Stanley Cup. And then the last one of the episode, guys, is going to be the Vegas Golden Knights. Can the Vegas Golden Knights go back to back? Because this team is basically the same team as last year. They definitely lost. Obviously, they lost Riley Smith, so it's going to be a little different in the locker room and on the team. But they still have some really, really good players, guys. Can Eichel take the next step? What is Mark Stone going to be doing? Is he going to be playing all next year? Or is he going to be playing at all next year at all? Who knows what Mark Stone's going to do? Is the defense going to stay consistent? Is Adin Hill going to do the performance like he did last year? Is Logan Thompson going to take the net? There's a lot of question marks with the Knights. And, hey, we don't really know what's going to happen, but there's definitely a good chance they can win back-to-back, guys. It's definitely a possibility. This team can do it. They have the depth. They have the defense. And the goalie, I wouldn't say they have it, but they don't really need it when you have that defense. So, Knights, I think they can do it if they buy in and have the right motivation, I guess. So, I think they can do it. So, comment below of these Western Conference teams, who actually has a chance, and does your team actually have a chance to win the Stanley Cup next year? I'm so excited for this season, guys. I'm excited for NHL 24 coming out. A lot of videos will be coming out. So, thank you guys for being here. Much love. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe. It really does help it a lot. Thank you so much. Y'all beautiful. I'll see you guys later.